Hebrews. This is Prophets of Awakening. This is our Women's Advanced Bible Study. It's 60 January 2022. I'm going to be dealing with, I got some more information on Melchizedek, and I'm just trying to share it, put a little more information out there. I'm asking everybody to like, share, and subscribe to Prophets of Awakening channel. Hit the notification button if you can. This is a non-Messianic channel. We deal with the Tanakh and the Torah. Tanakh is the Old Testament, and the Torah is the 35 books of the Old Testament that was given to Moses on Mount Sinai. Shalom and welcome everyone to Prophets of Awakening channel. We're going to do our moment of silence, our prayer, the Psalms, do our current events, and then we're going to do a little need to know information and go to the Q&A. Okay. Moment of silence is for Lord hosts and creating all that they're doing and bring about our deliverance from the land of our captivity. Okay. O Lord, righteousness and uprightness belongeth unto thee. Therefore we come before thee at this hour, seeking thy face, looking for righteousness and uprightness, that we may walk before thee as thy servants David, Solomon, Samuel, and Hezekiah did. For we desire to walk after thee, O Lord, to keep your commandments, your testimony, your statutes with all our heart and soul, and to perform the words of the covenant that was written down by your prophets. O Lord, allow thy face to shine upon thy people. Hear our plea. Hear, O Lord, and do. Hide not thy face from us any longer, for we need you so very much at this hour. Peace be unto you. Okay. Somebody gonna read the Psalms?
Yes, shalom. I'm going to read Psalm 4, safety in the Lord.
Psalms what?
4.
Okay.
Psalm 4. Hear me when I call, O God of my righteousness. Thou hast enlarged me when I was in distress. Have mercy upon me and hear my prayer. O ye sons of men, how long will ye turn my glory into shame? How long will ye love vanity and seek after leasing? Selah. But know that the Lord hath set apart him that is godly for himself. The Lord will hear when I call unto him. Stand in awe and sin not. Commune with your own heart upon your bed and be still. Selah. Offer the sacrifices of righteousness and put your trust in the Lord. There be many that say, who will show us any good? Lord, lift thou up the light of thy countenance upon us. Thou hast put gladness in my heart, more than in the time that their corn and their wine increased. I will both lay me down in peace and sleep, for thou, Lord, only makest me dwell in safety. That was Psalm 4.
Okay. Any comments on that? Okay.
I just want to make a comment on verse 8. I will both lay me down in peace and sleep, for thou, Lord, only makest me dwell in safety. David slept well because he knew he had safety from the Lord. He didn't have anything to worry about. So he slept in peace.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. When I read that, the first thing I thought about was Ezekiel 38. He said, "Finally, we was dwelling safely in cities without walls. We was dwelling safe, but that wasn't enough for our enemies." Okay.
Right.
Anybody else? Okay. Um, let me see. Yeah. Okay, we're gonna go to current events. Got a couple right here. Yeah, I keep on saying over and over again how, the way they didn't hook into our scriptures and all that, they got everybody thinking that, America is going to be the ones that release us. And I keep saying that, the Chinese, it's going to be, through the Chinese. So check this out.
Hi, dear friends, fellow Africans, you're most welcome. This is how China started in the year 2022 to Africa. China voiced its opposition to unilateral sanctions on Eritrea during a visit on Wednesday by its foreign minister to the Horn of African nation. Chinese foreign minister spokesman Zhao Lijian said last month that one's region trip aimed to deepen cooperation with African countries and support them in defeating the pandemic and bringing about economic recovery at early dates. At an African-China summit in Senegal in November, Beijing pledged to offer 1 billion COVID-19 vaccine doses to Africa and help African countries overcome pandemic-related economic woe without imposing its will. Apart from that, also a Chinese minister accusing the United States for keeping sanctions on Eritrea and Ethiopian forces due to the conflict that is going on in the northern part of Ethiopia, the Tigray region. So the Chinese side stands against any unilateral sanctions on Eritrea and Ethiopia. He said, when's trip to Eritrea, one of the world's most closest of country, will be followed by the visits to Kenya and the Comoro. So this is how the China or Chinese started to the year 2022 in Africa. And we know how the Chinese is the big investor in Africa. We know that China is the continent's largest trading partner with direct trade worth over 200 US dollar billion in 2019, according to the official Chinese figures. So this is the news that I was decided to share to you. I want to share to you about how the Chinese started this here to the continent of Africa. So please leave a comment or share our video as well as what you see and what do you think about this starting or the first leg of Chinese in this year. So thank you for watching.
Yeah, so you notice right there that in that little episode right there, the video, they said China stepped up. They said right out the gate, January 1st, they stepping up for Africa and for everything dealing with Africa. They coming up against any oppositions by the United States, anybody else that has any kind of opposition to anything that's pertaining to Africa being lifted up and increased. Yeah. For a little bit of this, maybe.
in the best interest of Africa and African countries. And I thought I should provide a perspective in terms of China and the relationship between China and Africa. So um, I wanted to structure my thoughts in under three headings. One of them is the first one is what I call the inadequacy of Africa's previous relationships. And then the second one is the suitability of China as a partner for Africa. And third, going forward, what next? So China doesn't just show up in Africa, right? I mean, China doesn't show up in Africa in a vacuum. When here's what's happening throughout the 90s. If you were to ask people, anybody who remembers or who was old enough to remember what happened in Africa in the 90s, you would know that in the 90s, Africa was a place of the first things that were happening on the continent in the 90s were wars, a lot of civil wars, Black Hawk Down, the Rwandan genocide, the Liberian Civil War, the Sierra Leonean Civil War, what was called Africa's World War, when Rwanda, Zimbabwe, Uganda fought in the Democratic Republic of Congo with different rebels there. And so with all of these wars happening across the continent, then they precipitated humanitarian disasters. You have huge numbers of internally displaced people, and you have had refugees. I too was a refugee during the war. I finished high school in a refugee camp in Cote d'Ivoire. So this was one of the things that was happening in Africa in the 90s, a lot of wars. And those wars were in part funneled, driven by what had happened with the collapse of the Soviet Union. Light weapons became easily available, and enterprising people sold arms to rebel groups across the continent. And so you had wars. And with the wars, like I said, you have significant humanitarian crisis. But that wasn't the only thing. There was a huge disease burden. HIV/AIDS, if you remember, throughout the 90s and the early aughts, was ravaging the continent. Central and Southern Africa were being wiped out. You had entire villages where there were two generations with a missing generation. You had the grandparents and the children, and the entire generation of parents were wiped out. So you had that. You had malaria. You had all of the tropical diseases you can think about. Those were happening. So it was not just the wars that were ravaging the continent. It was also the disease burden. Then something came back to bite us. A lot of African countries had taken out significant debt in the 70s, and that debt then came due. And so we came to an instance where most African countries are spending up to 60% of government revenues on just simply servicing debt. And in some instances, it was just interest, not even and because for years they had not serviced the debt, they accrued punitive interest and punitive charges. And so let's go back. You had wars, disease, debt. Within this context, very few companies, very few in the West looked at Africa as a place to do business. Most of Western policy toward Africa was actually filtered through the lens of development and aid. This was the picture of what was happening in Africa in the year 2000, when China hosted the first forum on China-Africa cooperation, FOCAC. And the FOCAC was held in Beijing. 40 African heads of states and governments were invited. And 2000 happened to be a very fortuitous year, because that was the year that China first did its going out policy, when Chinese firms were encouraged to go out to seek access to resources, but to seek access to markets. So when everyone else, I mean the West, saw Africa mainly through the lens of development aid, and I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that, there was still the Chinese actually saw an opportunity to do business. So Chinese companies go out into Africa. Now.
Okay, any comment? So brother's showing you how that everybody else had America written off. And China came in and brought it all the way up to this point where it's at now. So they have a lot invested in Africa. So it's only fitting and proper here. They want the diaspora to come back to enhance and enrich Africa it'd be China, the one that make it happen. It's only fitting and proper when you're looking at everything. And that's getting ready to happen. Any comments? Okay. For a little need to know information.
Grace and peace. Assalamu alaikum. Shalom. Ma'ahotep. Namaste. Free the land, beloved. Come on in, come on in, come on in.
So the reason I'm playing this right here is because of I'm thinking I done played Vicky Dillon a couple times on here. She has a pretty informative person, and now all of a sudden the African chick Joy Reid and a bunch of Boule Negroes coming up against her, trying to usurp her. So we're gonna just let her see what she has to say about it.
Come on, y'all, for y'all brief political commentary drive-by today. Very brief show. I have a magazine interview here in just a few moments. So I've got to do this quick, fast, and in a hurry, family. As you come in, beloved, come on in, giving us a big thumbs up. On the count of 3, please hit that thumbs up button. Share. Let everybody that know that your queen of Black media is on our Black Primetime show, The Vicky Show, repping #BGR, the Black Grassroots. Baby, we're getting ready we're raising up world shakers and history makers. We're taking over our planet, and we're going to rule based on freedom, justice, pleasure, and power. Somebody Black, talk Black to me. Now, you all, I have to share this news with you here in just a brief moment. And of course, I have receipts from an insider, and I'm certainly going to protect my sources. But I'm just saying that the Vicky Show is just, I told y'all the other day, I got some juicy stories. And because I have to go in just a moment, this is very likely going to be part 1, because I'm going to share a little bit more. You all know that I always have to double check some of my receipts. Talk Black to me. But someone reached out to me recently, and I want to read to you exactly what I was told. And I'll share more of the receipts with you later, but I have some. Talk Black to me. So family, come on in on the count of 3. Hit that thumbs up button. Share. 1, 2, 3. Thumbs up. Thumbs up. I see you, Nikki. I see you, Lonnie. I see you, Ask saying Brooklyn to Atlanta, screaming for you, boo. Ooh, I thank you for screaming for me, beloved. I receive it. Shout out to our Vicky Dillon fan page. I'm moderating the digital building. Family, they're going to be putting important links in there, like getting your angel calendars. Get your angel calendars today. Some of you all know that those that have been a part of my Sacred Secret spiritual courses, you know I have shared supernatural encounters that I've had with angels. So I am giving you insight so that you're able to focus your thoughts so that you can vibrate on such a high level that you're going to begin to clarify, to clear up your sixth sense or your first eye, so that you can tap into some of the divine messages that's coming from the angelic realm. There is a government, there's a high council, there's a military that's available and stands at the ready, but most folks don't access it. So the whole purpose of this angel calendar is to make you conscious of that. So you want to go to www.vickycalendar.com. That's www.vickicalendar.com. Now, without further ado, family, beloved, I always believe at the right time, the right people will hear this broadcast. I guess the notifications didn't go out, but that's okay, family. I've got to get rolling here for my interview here in just a few moments, but I had to come to you all first, family. What I want you all to see here, I want you to listen to a little bit of some of the receipts that I received. And y'all know I'm gonna protect my sources. Somebody talk Black to me. And so sometimes stuff comes snail mail, sometimes stuff comes through email. So I want to protect this individual, even though they gave me full permission to expose it. Somebody talk Black to me. Now, you all know that I have been giving the likes of the Black Boule and some that I have deemed bones and biscuits, this everlasting word. Somebody talk black to me. Thank you, Mr. Hotel. You all know that I have been giving them this everlasting word, right? You all know that I don't play about calling their funny looking selves out. You all know I have expressed to you that some folks from CNN have been in my DMs upset with me because I call them out on stuff. I have the receipts, but I don't unnecessarily drag folks' names into my commentary if I don't have to. Some of you all know that I have received direct calls from folks that work at MSNBC and obviously other, but some of you all consider to be mainstream, high-profile folk that some of you legitimize more than you legitimize the black media. But just for the record, they're concerned about what the Vicky Show over here talking about. While everybody's laughing and making fun of the people that I'm reaching, talk black to me, the powers that shouldn't be. Come on, somebody. I said the powers that shouldn't be sitting up here worried about what's going on over here. You know why, family? Because we that counter force, we're that counterculture. Somebody talk black to me. I've been prophesying to you this forever now. I told you, y'all finish the sentence for me. Power in this season is coming from where, family? Where is power in this season coming from, family? Talk black to me. Shout out to my brother, Larry Robinson. See, that's why I got to get ready to go in a few minutes, brother. I'm going to be on time for my meeting. My brother has a gospel magazine that I'm going to be interviewing for here in just a moment. So I'm pleased to connect with him in just a few minutes. But let me tell you this. Come on. That's right, Nikki. It's coming from the ground up, baby. I see you, Chicago. I see you, Chicago. Talk back to me, somebody. So family, real quick. They're concerned about what's happening here because our message is so powerful. It's so irresistible. It's so potent. You know why? Because I have my pulse on the people. I'm connected to the people. We're connected to the grassroots. We are the grassroots. So with that being said, we can move on. Everybody hit that thumbs up button, would you? Thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up. I've got a couple of meetings today, so I got to get going here. Watch this. I want to read you all some direct information, and I took a minute to share it because y'all know I got to double check receipts. Talk black to me. I tell my people all the time, you know, I don't do every show, and even if somebody is giving me legitimate receipts, if I'm not able to vet it in a certain way to where I'm comfortable and my spirit is telling me it's okay, it still might be true, but it doesn't mean I'm going to share it with my people. Talk black to me. Well, I'm sharing this right here with Joy Reid, and not just Joy Reid. I mentioned some of those others, just like I have in the past, when you all know that the black lady, Kareem Jean-Pierre, who was working with Kamala Harris and Joe Biden and them indirectly on the campaign trail, this black woman who's LGBT, she was the former top official, one of the top officials with MoveOn.org. You can look them up. She is now likely in the running to become the next possible press secretary. So just look her up, Kareem Jean-Pierre. Well, anyway, she blocked me also because I did a viral video on Your Black World some time back exposing her homegirl, Susan Rice, and she got upset, so she blocked me on Instagram and Twitter. But now that she works for the government, she has an additional Twitter page. So we're going to keep tagging her funny looking self now, because when you're a government employee, you're not supposed to just block people carte blanche. So we're making her life, you know, not too happy for her right now, because we're holding her accountable, because this is our government too. And we act like it by holding them accountable and calling them out. With that being said, I'm bringing those people and entities up because they are, family, upset that I am empowering you all. They're upset because they think that we're nobodies. They think we're the voiceless. And they think that we shouldn't have any right to rule the world that is our own. Y'all see that symbol that's behind me over here? Do you all see this symbol right here that I'm pointing to? What is it, family? What is it, family? Talk black to me. What is this symbol, family? It's really supposed to be suspended. It's not my only one. Talk black to me. That's a reminder. World shakers and history makers. I just had a call with my virtual tech manager, and she told me she wanted to update me on the hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people that tuned in to my Your Royal Bloodline Vault passcodes. By the way, you can get the replay if you missed it, January 2nd, for a limited time at www.onpurposewithvicky.com. My website is right here on the screen. She said she wanted to update me. It wasn't 11 countries, including the United States, like I thought. She gave me 3 additional countries after she went through the systems. Y'all know I only do receipts. It was 14 countries that attended my Your Royal Bloodline Vault Passcodes webinar activation. Family, they don't like the fact that we are seeding our message and we are resonating with foundational Black Americans throughout the United States and our Black brothers and sisters around the world. That bothers them, that we are resonating with the world. And for those of you that don't understand how spiritual stuff happens and how power truly takes over, power doesn't take over all the time, all at once. You do it first in seed form. That's why you can never, there's a spiritual quote that says, there's a spiritual scripture that says not to despise small beginnings. So see, some of you all don't know how to perceive the takeover. God, today. But Vicky, come on. I got a few minutes. Now, my dear brother reached out to me. I'm going to be real with y'all. Okay? And I'm just going to show you a couple of receipts, but I'm still going to protect our brother, even though he gave me full permission to expose it. I still respect my sources too much to just put them out there unnecessarily. Watch this. So, I received a communication about, I was asked to stop beating up on the boule. Y'all know the boule are those that think that they are the best in high society and Black society. Most of the folks that are part of certain fraternities and sororities, like Roland Martin always brags about being a part of the boule. And so some of the most prominent members of these, little groups and societies, to me, have been publicly disrespectful of our people. So that's the reason why I'm going to continue to give certain ones this everlasting word. Somebody talk Black to me. Well, my brother reached out to me and he said, sis, don't beat up on all of us. He said, because some of us in the boule love you too. Y'all, all this work I'll be giving, they funny looking selves. He said, sis, don't beat up on all of us. He said, some of us love you, sis. He said, we love you. And so I bust out laughing. And he said something interesting. Now, this particular individual is from the South. I won't say what state. This is what I was specifically told. Y'all ready for this? Y'all ready for this breaking news? Y'all know I got the receipts. That's why I told you it's just going to be part 1. I have receipts and a bunch of other stuff. This is going to be part 1, so stay tuned for the rest later. And I have pictures. God, today somebody say pictures. And I'm going to give you just one to show you that one of the pictures is, because I just want y'all to, I got to, y'all know how to do. But I got to give you a little bit of receipts, okay? Somebody say CNN producer. Somebody say CNN producer. I'm still protecting my source. I'm going to leave it at that. But I just want to give y'all a little receipt here. I just want to give y'all one. I got too many more. And it's too juicy for me to just make this just one part, okay? Just leave it alone. So that's a CNN producer. Y'all see the setup there, right? I'm not going to say which one. Y'all see the setup. I'm not going to give up my source. I'm not going to give up which is which on this, but I just wanted to give y'all a little stuff. That ain't the only receipt, but I'm just whetting your appetite right now. Okay. Just leave that alone. Y'all know I don't play about
Okay. Yeah, so this ain't just started. It's been going on behind the scenes with us for ever and a day. They always got some so-called crossover Negroes that's acting like they're on our side, but the whole time they're working against us. And they're using them to work against us to curb any kind of progress for us. We sitting there cherishing them and worshiping them, thinking that they all that when they, they garbage. They've been doing that for ever and a day. Like I said, they did it with W. Du Bois. And then when he got exposed, he ducked off when he left the country and went somewhere and hid out until he passed away. And they've been doing that for years. We're not in this predicament where we're in now on accident. So our own people been working behind the scenes with these Edomites to keep us in the predicament we're in. Yeah. Any comments? Okay. So I'm gonna open it up for some Q&A. Anybody have any questions about something before I go into the lesson? Anybody have any comments about anything? If they heard, they want to talk about it, shine light on?
Well, back to Vicky Dillard. I was watching her. I want to say that, was it today or yesterday? And she had the I guess the sort of like those people that, like she was just saying, she had a, you know, someone to kind of give her some insight into what was going on in the military. And she was talking about, you know, they're not when people are coming in and they're sick, they're not labeling it as a sickness. They're just kind of telling them to go, go home and rest. And then when it's severe symptoms, she was saying they would tell them, well, we'll recommend you to, to see a doctor. But they don't want to, because, all the military had to have it. So she was saying if she thinks the reason they're not saying, and they're not giving them the test, they're just telling them to do this or that, but they're not testing them because they don't want to have, a high number of, you know, people that have been, given that substance to test positive for it. So they're just sending them home, or if they're going to the doctor, just treating them and not labeling it because it may kind of raise some flags. So, yeah.
Okay, yeah. Like I said, they're good at that. She was talking about how the little video she done, she put out, and they did made had her thinking I was only 3 countries. There was people chiming in from 3 different countries, and found out later it was 14 countries. So they're good at that. Anybody else have anything? Yeah, let me see what we're talking about this. The reason why the Book of Enoch is removed.
Shalom.
Shalom, family.
We want to talk with you all about the Book of Enoch and why it was removed from the scriptures. You know, the Book of Enoch has some very deep mysteries in it, and those mysteries tie into these last days. So I would tell everyone that's listening to this message to go out and purchase yourself a copy of the Book of Enoch. Okay.
Yes, it's very important that we get into this information because, again, it's very telling of what's happening in the last days. We shouldn't be afraid of knowledge.
That's right.
We'll go out and get any other book, novel, or college book, and they teaching all kinds of stuff. But when it comes to things like this, we tend to shy away from it.
That's right.
Because we've heard something and we just don't want to deal with it. And one of those things that people are so afraid to deal with is some of the content in the Book of Enoch.
That's right.
In particular, we're going to talk about Noah and his appearance. Now, according to the Book of Enoch, Noah was, he had white skin, colorful eyes, and blonde hair. Okay, that was Noah. But it's not that people are afraid of, because if that's all it was, then we wouldn't have no problems, right? Everybody would be okay. Let's get the Book of Enoch out there to the world.
It's the other information, which we brought this out in White It Out Part 1, and some of you may have missed it. But when you really pay attention to the part that is really of concern to people, what's really going on is when Noah's parents responded in fear, that's really why they didn't want this book out there. Because then you'll start to say, oh, why would they respond in fear? If Noah's parents were white, why would they be afraid of a white baby? That's so right. Then something else is going on, right?
That's right.
Something else is going on. Noah was not white as a European, okay? Noah was white as in albino. Okay, right. So when his parents saw him, the scripture actually says that they responded in fear. They were like, is this our child? He right. looks like one of the children of the angels. He does not look like mankind. His skin is white, his eyes are colorful, and his hair is blonde.
That's right.
Did y'all hear what we just said?
That's right.
Okay. Anybody got a comment on that?
That's in the Book of Enoch.
Yeah, that's what I've been screaming forever and a day. And, you know, you have these people that's supposed to be, you know what I'm saying? Why they buy the scriptures? I mean, how can Noah be albino? Yeah, and they go all the way off down another road rather than being able to rightly divide it and stay on point.
Yeah, I've heard that. I just the way she explained it about why they don't want us to have the Book of Enoch, and that is another point, because if his skin was white and his eyes were of color, that is opposite um of us, so that would be another indicator. So
Right. So I'll make a couple of points on that. Genesis chapter 8. This would also mean by being able to go in there and get this meat out of him and leave the bones in there. It says chapter 6. See. Yeah, chapter 6, verse 9 says, these are the generations of Noah. Noah was a just man and perfect. See that? Perfect in his generation. Noah walked with God. He had no defects. Albinoism is just defect. He tell you that he's perfect in his generation. So that's what I mean by it. What's going on? So let's look at where they got that from right there. That whole story. This is where they got it from right here. Just this primate. So I'm over here with Cain. And it says, chapter 4. And based on what they just said, the appearance of Cain, they're saying it's Noah, but it's actually, it comes from Cain. It says, chapter 4, verse 8, and Cain talked with Abel's brother, right? And it came to pass when they were in the field, Cain rose up against Abel, his brother, and slew him. And the Lord said, the Lord the one, he turned Miriam albino, lepers. That's all albinoism is, lepers, taking out the melanin. So he says, the Lord said in verse 9, the Lord said unto Cain, where is Abel thy brother? And he said, I know not. Am I my brother's keeper? And he said, what hast thou done? The voice of thy brother's blood cried unto me from the ground. And now thou art cursed. You go what you reading over there. They just stuck it over in And then Noah put it on Noah. But it's right here. He turned Cain white. See that? It says, and now thou art, and now thou art cursed from the earth, which have opened her mouth to receive thy brother's blood from my hand. When thou tillest the ground, it shall not henceforth yield unto his strength. The fugitive and a vagabond shall thou be in the earth. And Cain said unto the Lord, see this, my punishment is greater than I can bear. Behold, thou hast driven me out this day from the face of the earth. From the face of the earth that I was hid, and I shall be a fugitive and a vagabond in the earth. And it shall come to pass that everyone that findeth me shall slay me. And the Lord said unto him, therefore whosoever slayeth Cain's, vengeance shall be taken upon him sevenfold. And the Lord set a mark upon Cain, lest anyone find him, say, to turn him albino. So you say, what you talking about? Well, you can't no kid ain't gonna just be born albino from happenstance. It's something that happened. Just like what Miriam was turning white. She didn't just get turned white for the hell of it. She had done something. She was talking against Moses. So when you read the story, they were stuck over there in the Book of Enoch, talking about Noah was born albino. No, we just read where he's perfect in his generation. That was a curse that was put on Cain when it happened. Cain was the one. And the Most High changed him. Everybody looking at him and was afraid, but the reason he did it was to identify him. And everybody know who he was. They just took that story totally out of the book and stuck it over there on one of our patriarchs and denigrated him. Like I told you, they denigrated Noah, talking about he was a drunk. They denigrated him right here, talking about he was albino. When the whole time Cain was the one that was albino, was the one he carried. Okay. Any comments? Okay.
I remember you saying that, there's no way that probably happened, but isn't albino? I don't know if that how would you say it, but that condition different from like vitiligo, the other disease that causes like sort of like what they said Michael Jackson's had.
Right.
Because some of those albino people, you can tell, that they're still black people. They just don't have the melanin. And I don't know. I guess when she was saying that, I was just thinking, well, maybe that was another way that an indicator that the first people, not the first people, but Adam and Eve were in that whole line, and Noah and all of those, their parents were not without color because they wouldn't have been afraid of their child. So I don't know, but I see what you're saying. Think that the Most High would put one of our patriarchs in, have what's considered a defect. Yeah.
Right. You have to go back and you got to go back and look at they designed a shop vac. The shop vac is designed to do certain things, to suck up the stuff out of the car and do all this and that. So when he created Adam, he has that pineal gland, the skin, all this to play. So why would he take that away from Noah? Don't make sense. Even Enoch, all those men able to deal with these angels, have these visions and all that because of the way he made them. The melanin and the skin and all that. So it's a problem. And so it's a problem. That's the first thing that happens when you see somebody. It's like now. We done lost the fact that when you see a white person, it's a problem. But we done lost that. We started to live amongst them, intermarrying with them and all that. But originally, when the Most High did it to Cain, it's a problem.
Right.
He telling us all through the scriptures, don't mess with them. There's something wrong with
Don't
them.
mingle. Yes.
That's so true.
We got away from that. And that's what our problem
Mm.
is. Yeah, we started trying to deal with them when they ain't right. Yeah, that's what that is. And so, and you know, they didn't just smooth it over our heads. Got us thinking a whole nother way when they don't, you know, they ain't how it works. Okay, I'll let them more play.
In the Book of Enoch, it says he does not look like mankind. He looks like one of the children of the angels. See,
that don't even add up, because we just read, he said he perfect in his generation.
Right.
So this
So
right here, they're all down a whole other road, just right there. That's
yeah.
crazy. You don't say none of all this so crazy stuff right here about this. He said he was perfect, which means he was like Adam. He was like Enoch. He was like Jared. And he was able to have dreams and visions and deal with the angels from the way the Most High created. That's what he's telling you perfectly. And another thing is to look at is the priesthood and the high priest. They can't. None of the priests can't have no defects on them. They can't come in the Holy of Holies. They can't come in the temple with no defects on them. So that tell you right there, it was a race of men that was unlike any other man, any other men. He was saying that they can't. He was telling Joshua when he was getting ready to raise Joshua up and Zerubbabel up to go to bring the Israelites back to Jerusalem. He says, "I'm gonna raise you up so you can be around men that's one to that." All these other countries have been hearing about these Levites and these men of Judah, how they was made, and how the Most High created them and how they was. And he keep telling us, saying that when I first created you, I took a vine and I planted it, and I had strong bows, and they went out from you. Strong bows. That's what he's talking about. That's why we're not really connecting the dots on why we was such a commodity coming over here. You know, they had all these powerful brothers that they was bringing over here on ships that God had thrown them away. And these powerful women and powerful men, that was like no other race of people. They were specimens. Like I said, they can't have no defects on them. Yeah, they don't want you to know that. But we done been over here and got twisted all over these folks and intermingled with them and got all this old corruptible stuff that they got tied up in their DNA.
Yeah, because even with the animals that were being sacrificed to have any blemish or spot.
Exactly. Is that something? Yeah. So let me get over here with you. I'm gonna go to the lesson. This is if somebody want to check it out, it's another channel. It's called it's Israelite Bible Study Group. That's the name of the channel. You want to check it out? We got about 25 videos. Let me play some of this one right here.
This is Brother Yoel from the Israelite Bible Study Group, and welcome to the children of Israel only. Welcome, Israel, to another Bible study lesson, and happy Sabbath to you all. Today's Bible study lesson is going to be called A Priest After the Order of Melchizedek. And in this Bible study lesson, we will be taking a deeper look into the order of Melchizedek. We are not necessarily going to be looking into who Melchizedek was, but we will be looking more into the order of Melchizedek. And we are going to be
you know, and we're going to look to discover who was really being spoken of when the Most High's word says, "Thou art a priest after the order of Melchizedek." Who was he speaking about? Okay. Who was the Most High speaking to when he uttered those words? Okay. And even though the New Testament teaches lies and say that the Most High was speaking to Jesus Christ, aka Lucifer, when those words were uttered, that is not true. And we are going to find out who is the true priest after the order of Melchizedek. Okay? So let's not waste any time. Let's get right into it. Let's start off in Genesis chapter 14, and let's pick it up in verse 18. Genesis chapter 14 and verse 18. And Melchizedek, king of Salem, brought forth bread and wine. So Melchizedek was what? The king of Salem. Okay? So Melchizedek was a king who had dual offices, meaning he was a king and he was also a priest. And I want you to remember that, because that is a clue as to who the Most High was speaking of when he said through the psalmist, or who the Most High was speaking to when he said through the psalmist, thou art a priest after the order of Melchizedek. Okay? So, like I said, I want you to remember that, because it is a clue as to who the Most High was speaking to when he said through the psalmist, who prophesied in song, okay, in Psalm 110. So we will be referring back to this a little later in the lesson, okay? But let's continue. Genesis chapter 14 and verse 18, once again. And Melchizedek, king of Salem, brought forth bread and wine. And he was the priest. The what? The priest. He was what? The priest of the Most High. Okay? He was the priest of the Most High. So this king of Salem, Melchizedek, was also the priest of the Most High. Notice, he was not the high priest of the Most High. He was not the great high priest of the Most High, but he was the priest of the Most High God. Okay? That's what it says in Genesis. Let's get it one more time. Genesis chapter 14 and verse 18. And Melchizedek, king of Salem, brought forth bread and wine, and he was the priest of the Most High God. Okay? Verse 19, Genesis 14 and verse 19. And he blessed him and said, "Blessed be Abraham of the Most High God, possessor of heaven and earth." So Melchizedek did what? He blessed him. Who is him? Melchizedek blessed Abraham, who will later be called Abraham. Okay? And he said, "Blessed be Abram of the Most High God." So Abraham did something to help those kings back then at that time. It was not the other way around. Those kings didn't do something to help Abraham, but Abraham helped them. And also, no one can bless Abraham above what the Most High has already blessed Abraham. Matter of fact, the Most High said that he will bless him who blesses Abraham, and and his seed, and he will curse those who curses Abraham and his children. Okay, Abraham built altars and made sacrifices to the Most High God himself, just like a priest. Okay, Abraham did priestly things himself, and Abraham prayed to the Most High God for himself. And not only that, but the Most High God came to Abraham's house. The Most High God sat down and ate with Abraham, okay, right in the flesh. So Abraham didn't need to give tithes to a priest. That's what I'm trying to show you here. So that a priest, he didn't give tithes to a priest so that a priest can go before the Most High God for him. Okay.
Okay. Anybody got any comments so far? Anything they want to bring up? Everybody know who Melchizedek is, right? They heard of him.
Yes, I
Yeah, we've
heard
heard of them. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Okay.
Abraham didn't need to do that. That's very similar to Moses, because even though Aaron was the high priest, Moses spoke with the Most High himself. The Most High God said that he spoke to Moses face to face. So Moses didn't need Aaron to go to the Most High God for him, even though Aaron was not just a priest, but the high priest of the Most High God. But Aaron still couldn't go to the Most High God for Moses, because Moses spoke to the Most High God face to face. Okay? Most High God spoke with Moses face to face. Let's get Genesis chapter 14 and verse 19. And he blessed him. Let me read that again. Genesis 14 and verse 19. And he blessed him and said, blessed be Abram of the Most High God, possessor of heaven and earth. Possessor equals what? Owner. So the Most High God of Israel is the possessor, the owner, the maker, the creator of the heavens and of the earth and of everything in the heavens and everything in the earth. Okay? The Most High God has made all things. Okay? Let's get that again. Genesis 14 and verse 19. And he blessed him and said, blessed be Abram of the Most High God, possessor of heaven and earth. So the Most High, who is possessor of heaven and earth, has already blessed Abram. Okay? So Melchizedek, Abram didn't need to give Melchizedek no tithe. Okay? Genesis chapter 14 and verse 20. And blessed be the Most High, which has delivered thine enemies into thine hand. And he gave him tithe of all. Okay? Right there. So here is where it gets very interesting, because it says he gave him tithes of all, meaning Melchizedek gave Abraham tithes. Here it gets very interesting, because when you go into the New Testament and you read the part that refers to this verse in Genesis chapter 14, they say in the New Testament that Abraham gave tithes to Melchizedek. But my problem with that statement or that claim is, first of all, the Torah don't say that. We just read what the Torah said. It says he gave tithe to all. It don't say Abraham gave him tithe. Why? For what? Okay? Torah don't say Abraham gave tithes to Melchizedek. And second of all, Abraham didn't have to give a priest tithe so that the priest can make sacrifices and pray to the Most High God for him. Because Abraham performed priestly acts himself. Abraham spoke regularly with the Most High God himself. So what really happened is that Melchizedek, the king of Salem, the priest, not the high priest of the Most High God, not the great high priest of the Most High God, but the priest of the Most High God, he gave tithes to Abraham. Okay? The New Testament calls Jesus Lucifer the great high priest after the order of Melchizedek. Okay? But Melchizedek was not a great high priest. You just read what Melchizedek was. He was the priest of the Most High God, because there is no such thing as a great high priest. Now, in the Old or the New Testament, there's no such thing as a great high priest. There's only high priest. And then there is a priest, okay, who's under the high priest. There ain't nobody above the high priest, between, the Most High and the high priest. There's only a high priest, and then there's a priest. So Melchizedek was not a great high priest. So how could Jesus be in order after the Melchizedek and be a great high priest? Okay, Melchizedek wasn't even a high priest. Okay, but Melchizedek was the priest of the Most High. So even though the New Testament calls Lucifer Jesus, or Jesus Lucifer the great high priest, the Most High never said that. So that is a big fat lie. Jesus Christ, aka Lucifer, was never anointed as a body. He has not delivered anybody. Okay? And people are still getting sick. People are still dying everywhere. Okay? He said, behold, I come quickly. Yet it has been, what, some 2,500 years and counting since he's been dead. But he's still saying that he's coming quickly. That's a lie. That is a lie. He ain't coming quickly. I mean, 2,500 years not coming quickly. Okay? Hebrews chapter 5 and verse 6. As he said also in another place, thou art a priest forever after the order of Melchizedek. Again, Lucifer Jesus and his butt buddies keep lying and saying and taking quotes from Torah and that are speaking of someone else in Torah, and they are applying it to Lucifer Jesus when it had nothing, absolutely nothing to do with Jesus Christ at all. At all. And we're going to document that. We're almost done here, okay? Let's go back to Hebrews chapter 5. Let's pick it up in verse 7. Who in the days of his flesh, when he had offered up prayers and supplications with strong crying and tears unto him that was able to save him from death, and was heard in that he feared. Hebrews chapter 5 and verse 8. Though he were a son, yet learned he obedience by the things which he suffered. So he supposedly had all that knowledge, all that wisdom to create the heavens and the earth. He supposedly is the Most High's only begotten Son. He supposedly have all the knowledge, yet he was too stupid to know about obedience, that he had to learn obedience. Come on. And this is the Savior of the world. Are you serious? Wow. Let's go to Hebrews chapter 5, verse 9. And being made perfect, he became the author of eternal salvation unto all them that obey him. Not obey the Most High God, but obey Him. He is lying. If you obey Him, the Most High God is going to destroy you. Okay? That's a lie. Isaiah chapter 45, let's document the lie. Every time I say it's a lie, I'm going to go right to Isaiah. Isaiah chapter 45 and verse 17. But Israel shall be saved in the Lord with an everlasting salvation. So the Most High God is your Savior. You shall be saved in the Most High. If you obey Lucifer, Jesus, you're going to be destroyed. Isaiah chapter 45 and verse 17. I don't
See how he's sliding right over the Lord of hosts, right?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So I'm showing you this stuff right here for a reason, because it looks like, it seems as if we down to the meat. Because the average person, they just reading over this stuff, but you can see how ridiculous it is once the light is shined on it. It's saying it just they don't have it right. Let a little more play,
see why you can't see this. Because you're not of Israel. That's why you can't see it. But Israel shall be saved in the Lord, in the Most High, with an everlasting salvation. You shall not be ashamed nor confounded, world without end. Lucifer, aka Jesus Christ, is not, I repeat, he is not the author of eternal salvation. That is a lie. That title belongs solely, only to the Most High, the Most Holy One, the Most High, our God. That title belongs to Him and Him alone.
They go the Holy One again.
That title belongs to the Most High God only. He is the author of eternal salvation, not Lucifer, Jesus. But what did Lucifer say in his heart in Isaiah chapter 14? Don't forget that. He said, I will be like the Most High. But he's not like the Most High. Okay? He ain't nothing but a liar. Because the Most High said Israel shall be saved with an everlasting salvation in a world that...
Yeah, okay, so like I was saying, this is the name of the video is a priest after the Order of Melchizedek. If you want to watch the whole thing, it's a Israelite Bible study group, the channel. It's like an hour and 30 minutes. You want to watch it and check it out. Anybody
It's
got any?
called Israelite. The channel is Israelite Bible Study Group.
Yeah, that's the name of the channel. It's got like they probably got like 25 videos. They haven't been out really that long. And they got some pretty good videos on there. But like I was saying before, is you can see how the information that you got over here, how it's missing over there. They don't see Lord of Hosts. They keep on, like what he just said about when Melchizedek came and blessed Abraham. He said, "Possessor of heaven and earth." That means he in charge of heaven and earth. That's the Lord of Hosts. He in charge of it. He didn't create all of it. He's the Lord of Hosts. He's in charge of the heaven and earth. That's why he keep on saying, "My footstool." He's on the right hand side of the Father, which is the Lord of Hosts, and his footstool. Footstool is Mount Zion. That's where he dwells at Mount Zion. But he's on the right hand side of the Creator, Yahweh. And his footstool is in Jerusalem on Mount Zion. But like they don't see all that, and it's because of I guess it ain't time for them to see it. Most I ain't brought them into the right place. Yeah.
Yeah, I can see that because when I was reading it, but looking back now that you've shown us that, it's kind of obvious now. But if you're not if you're under the impression it's one, you
Right.
kind of have a hard time. Once you get to realize that the New Testament JC is not, and you read the Old Testament for what it is saying, I am one, there's none beside me.
Right.
You don't think about it being an angel, but then you look at it in retrospect after we know, like you're saying, he walked with Adam in the evening of day, and if
Right.
like he's the all-consuming one,
Right.
and it wouldn't be possible. And then he was in white linen, and he was in front of Abraham with
Right.
two other angels. They called them angels, so
Right.
it makes sense now.
Right.
But they always taught us that, you know, the Lord was talking to the Lord was talking to, but they had them all one and the same. So I
Right.
kind of get it until they, like you said, like with you, until the Lord of hosts reveals it to them or somebody that they're in contact with. Yeah, I think they're gonna have,
They're gonna
Right.
think it's one. Mhm.
yeah,
Yeah. When the trick to it is, Enoch tell you it was seven holy ones. He made seven holy ones. So then you start dealing with this, and he keeps saying, "I'm the holy one." So he wanted the seven holy ones. Whoever this is,
Right.
one of the seven holy ones. Y'all,
Hmm.
Yahweh. Then even in the book of Daniel, Daniel said he saw a watcher come down with a holy one.
Mm.
We know it's seven holy ones, and then he keep on. He says, and then he keeps saying, "I'm the strong one. I'm the holy one over Israel."
Right.
It's an angelic being, but they ain't seeing that, you know. And a lot, like I said before, there's a lot of people that's embracing the Book of Enoch, but they're not really embracing it because you have to read that. You have to read that book, the Book of Enoch, like it's just for what it was. It was given to Enoch and brought down to heaven, brought down from heaven to us. And that's how you got to read it.
Right.
People now they finally getting around to it, and they listen to what people saying about it, and they half-ass reading it. And they're not embracing it.
And
And
they still not piecing it things together when they're reading it.
right, they fumble with it.
Right.
Like
the
I said,
majority of the Israelites don't even understand that the New Testament is a fallacy.
right,
Oh
So
yeah.
exactly.
they not even where we are and where this guy, he at least knows that that book is a lie.
Right,
That's
But
right.
the majority, when I'm looking for other, non-Messianic people on, it's not a lot.
Yes, sister,
it
you're
ain't.
right.
So it's a lot of them still in the Old Testament. I mean, in the New
And the new.
Testament.
Hmm.
Right, right. And then, like I said, you got people now. It's kind of starting now. People starting to wake up about the New Testament, but it's so much other stuff that's involved that you got to know once you figure out that the New Testament ain't nothing. You get tricked off it anyway because you don't understand. And then, like I say, what happens is they get offended. They get offended because they thinking that but it's not. It's not. It's nothing to be offended about. It's about the Most High having somebody in place. He said he's going to help us. He having somebody in place to bring you to the place where you need to be at. It's not about uh, counting attitude, being mad.
Right. It's totally a contradictory book. It doesn't even give you the same vibe as the Old Testament. So I can't understand these people who know a lot about, like I listen to people that are Messianic, and when they're not talking about the New Testament, they have a pretty good knowledge of the Old Testament. Then
Right,
they'll try to throw something from the New Testament in that really doesn't even go. It is
right,
not even lining up. But they'll always try to find they don't use the New Testament too much when they're explaining, but they'll try to throw something from the New Testament in, and it doesn't make sense. And it's just such a contradictory book to the Old Testament. It counters. the basic premise of the Old Testament. So I don't get that it's so many of them still believing in that.
Right. Exactly. Right. Yeah. They just don't. I mean, you know, it's always based purely off of what was told them. They ain't, you know, because no sooner than you start doing a little bit of research, you starting to see that something ain't right. But as long as you believe in word for word what they done told you, you know, you're gonna be through. Yeah. Anybody else got anything before we go? Everybody good?
Yes, he was doing the right thing. He was beating down JC. I tell you that. He
Yeah,
was on
right.
that.
Right.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah,
Yes.
like I was saying before, he got some good videos on there. You know, yeah. So you want to check it out? Check it out. It's Israelite Bible Study Group. Okay, so with that being said, I say shalom, and I'm gonna see everybody tomorrow at 8 o'clock for the Friday night Q&A. Shalom.
Shalom.
All right. Shalom all.
Okay.